Hi guys, welcome to SimLive. My name is Kiki and welcome to another video. And this time I'm creating Jill Valentine from Resident Evil 3, the remake. I've been away for a while, I do realize. Life has just, gone so fast. Like, life has just flown past me. I don't even know what happened. And before I even know it, Blender 2.8 came out. And that's also one of the reasons why I'm a bit late to the party, is because I was trying to learn Blender 2.8, watching lots of tutorials, and then when I actually did download it and get it on my computer, I was not actually able to run it functionally. It was very frustrating, very choppy. So in the end, I had to go back to Blender 2.79 B. To be very specific. I will eventually go to 2.8, but right now, just to keep things fun for myself, I just had to go to a Blender that I could actually run smoothly. And I wanted to create a hairstyle. I decided to go with Jill Valentine's hairstyle because it's quite easy, because what I wanted to try was to create something completely from scratch. So Blender 2.8 was actually the reason why I wanted to do this, because I don't know if you know, but in the sculpting area of the program, you actually got a button that's called the remesh button, and it will actually remesh your mesh for you whilst you're sculpting. Obviously I can't use it because I'm not using 2.8, but I still was intrigued by the idea of using this technique, which is called the Bezier Curves. Basically, you create a Bezier curve and then you give it a bevel, which is what you see me move right now, which is what creates the sort of strand texture on the hair. And then there's the bevel, the taper, sorry, and that just creates the taper of the hair strand. This hairstyle is completely created from 16 strands of hair all together. So yeah, basically what I would have wanted to do was create all of this, then chuck it into the sculpt section and then press the remesh button, and it would have created like a solid mesh for me to use. In the end, that's not what I was able to use, but I did figure out that the boolean modifier has some similar functions that I was able to use. So in the end, I used the boolean modifier in Blender 2.79b to eventually create a cohesive mesh. So right now I'm just creating all the strands to create the hairstyle all together. I did not create a turnaround picture this time. I've just got some pictures on the sides that I'm using for reference, and then from that I'm just positioning the strands to get it to have that shape and that look. And this is sort of the first time that I'm using this. I did use it before, but it was taking me so long to position everything. I wasn't very handy in it that I gave up on the idea. But it does just take some getting used to and getting handy with it. So, in the end I did get better. You probably did see me struggle in the beginning of this. So right now I've turned all the Bezier curves into meshes. And now I'm just reducing the poly count, basically, because when you turn it into a mesh, it becomes quite solid and dense in its poly count, basically, in all the vertices that are in there. So right now I'm just manually reducing all the strands, and I wasn't sure whether I was gonna basically what I was gonna do. Probably the better idea would have been to unwrap it as before I combined them all together, as I'm doing right now, but I didn't, because I had in my mind that I was gonna create a different sort of UV map. Anyway, it was all just kind of like an exploration. So right now I've combined all the strand meshes together, and I'm just using the sculpt tool to close any gaps, to make sure that they're overlapping nicely and that looks like natural and not like clipping through each other like they are at the top over there. And then now I'm just going to change the material color so it will stand out more if there's a gap in there. So right there was like a little bald spot, so I just got rid of that. And then right now I'm just going to use the boolean modifier to basically combine all of these without having any mesh data in the middle of the bits where I don't need there to be a mesh. Anyway, it's not perfect. It definitely turned out that there were some, scrap bits and pieces here and there, which I figured out was while I was doing the UV unwrapping. But yeah, it was okay. For the most part, it did what I needed it to, and right now I'm just painting the dirty vertexes. At this point I've already unwrapped it. I did not save any footage of that or even attempt to film it, because It's very tedious, it's a very long process, and to be honest, it's not my favorite bit, so I doubt it's anyone else's. If I'm not enjoying it, I'm not gonna let anyone else watch it. So I've baked the dirty vertexes, I've just taken that into Photoshop, and now I'm just gonna paint the hairline in it. I don't know if my UV map over there makes any sense, but basically I've kept the strands coming from the hairline and then done a midway cut where I've put the rest of the hair strands at the top where there's actually space for it, which is why right now I've taken it into Blender and I'm painting in Blender. So right now I'm just painting in a lot of like details into it. This is my attempt at creating a sort of Maxis match paint job texture. I mean, for better or for worse, for something that's hand painted, I think I did alright, but it definitely isn't perfect. So right now I'm just doing a pass of highlights over it, and then later on, once I've done that, I will go over it with the smudge tool. I'll say with like the darker hair tones, it works quite well. I mean, I think if you would use it side by side with a different hairstyle as well, you would definitely notice that it's a very different sort of texture. But if you use it on its own, by itself, I guess, it doesn't stand out quite that much. It looks quite okay. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just giving the highlights a more warmer tone and all of the darker shadows a cooler tone, because shadows tend to be quite cool, whereas anything that's being touched by the light has sort of a warmer hue to it. And then when I just slap the color onto it, it won't just be like a bland color, it will actually have some tones and depth to it. So that's why I did that. And basically I did not bother creating any of the, well, I did actually create the lighter textures, but I saw that it looked quite bad on the hair, so I actually did not upload them in the end. So it's just up until I think the second red that I did, because they all looked okay in game and the rest did not. So why have it if it just looks like crap, right? And I just put in all that effort not to have something that looks crap. It actually took me a really long time to finish everything. So yeah, here we go. That's the hair in game with all the swatch colors that I created for it as well. And then after all that effort, I wanted to quickly bish bash bosh an outfit together. So I need a necklace, a cream top, a blue ripped handless tank with the buttons on popped, and a bandage for the elbow, shoulder holster, a belt with pouches, radio and badge, grey jeans, black boots, and a leg pouch. So I started with this police suit from Get to Work, I think it is, because it has a shoulder holster. It is quite a different shape from the shoulder holster that's in game, because that one falls a bit lower, but I can understand why they went for a higher design in The Sims, just because otherwise it will probably be constantly clipping through the arms. So I left it at that. It doesn't actually have a holster onto it. I didn't bother creating one. Because as I said, I just wanted something to quickly go for the hairstyle. Like, my main idea was to create the hairstyle, and then once that was finished, I figured I should quickly just bish bash bosh together an outfit. So that's what we're doing right now, and thankfully the outfit also comes with a belt and with a badge. So that's great. I can just use that badge, and then we've just got this top to go on top of it, and that will become the top with the buttons, and also the cream top at the same time. So I'm just combining that with a mesh of more of a skinny jeans design. I do think in the end that they ended up being a little bit too skinny, but I don't care. It was literally just something to very quickly go with the hairstyle, and considering how long the hairstyle took me to create compared to how quick I literally virtually stitched or digitally stitched this outfit together, is insane. Like, I don't think I will create my own hairstyles from scratch again, just because it is a very long process, and I did struggle a lot with the UV1 map. Oh yeah, and this necklace is from Realm of Magic, I think. So yeah, I'm just adjusting that one to go together. I think the cream top is just base game, and then the skinny jeans, I don't know. Maybe get famous. I don't know. And then these trousers are from Jungle Adventure. I did also upload this onto a base mesh, a base outfit, so you should be able to get this if your base game. Now I have to say, because my laptop, my Apple laptop is apparently they dropped support for it because it's that old, because it's 9 years old. I now can only have the Sims Legacy, so I won't be able to upload the sim onto the gallery because apparently I'm not allowed on the gallery anymore. I'm being punished. But yeah, so I think eventually I was oh, and by the way, this is a telephone asset, so I'm just adjusting this to become the radio. I know what a radio is. So she could have a radio on the belt. So that was just like I think that's from the debug object, a debug object. So yeah, you're able to get that and put that on top of outfits as well if you want. So what was I saying? Yeah, so basically they drop support. So I now have the Sims Legacy, so I actually don't know that you'll be able to use this if you do have the, I don't know, can I call it the full game? The game that will be getting updates and be getting new expansion packs. Because I won't until I get a new laptop. Now I was due an upgrade anyway, so I guess what with me wanting to use Blender 2.8 as well, I guess I will upgrade for my birthday, which is next month, and get myself a new laptop. I already know which one I want. It's just very expensive, and what with everything going on right now, I'm just a little bit hesitant to spend that amount of money, just because, you know, I don't really know what's gonna happen. Like, what if, you know, I don't know how long we'll be in lockdown for. I'm currently in London, so it is quite extreme here. So yeah, I am very fortunate that I'm able to work from home. So in that aspect, I'm lucky. I'll tell you some personal information about myself. I literally just changed job right before the whole country went on lockdown, and if I would have stayed in my previous job, I basically would have been sat on my ass right now doing nothing. So I'm extremely lucky that I'm still able to work from home whilst this is going on. But still, you know, bearing in mind that nobody knows what's going to happen, I just want to be a bit more hesitant with my spending. So I will, you know, come my birthday, I will reconsider, think about it again, and then hopefully with my birthday money is coming in from my lovely parents, it won't seem that much of an expense. So basically right now I am painting the outfit with the swatches at the top. I created a swatch list. I thought that was very handy, and then I'm just assigning everything a color based on that. So yeah, considering the new computer, I'm not sure what I want to do. I am pretty pissed off with Apple for dropping this support for my beautiful, lovely laptop, the love of my life. So I'm considering a Windows. But then again, at work I use oh, and right now I'm just going in Blender to check if the texture looks okay, because you don't realize this, but by the time I get something to be game ready, it takes a very long time, and sometimes I just want to see what it looks like. But anyway, here we are in game. That's it. This is the showcase already. Oh my gosh, hasn't time just gone by so quickly? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will leave you to watch the one more image that I have in the showcase. So thank you all so very much for watching. Have a lovely day. See you later, and goodbye.